Ladies and gentlemen, here we are back again, once again, episode 39 of the Heads Up Play podcast. One closer to 40. We keep moving on up. We got a sort of slow sports week, slow in terms
Week,
of
always
games, aside for a little bit of an electric weekend in the NBA playoffs. But we got a massive college football story that could alter the future of our sport. But let's get into it. Episode 39, here we go. I am joined, as always, by the one and only John Rivers Nix, aka Cowboy. Cowboy, how you doing on this Wednesday evening?
man, I am doing good. I'm war slap out, man. It's almost a Monday every day for me at work right now. You know, I was looking, hopefully we had a well rested weekend in Atlanta watching the Braves. But unfortunately we did not. We heads up play was at the game.
Let's go ahead and talk about that. We got a few things to talk about, but we need to talk about our disappointing experience. That was my experience. Was just utter disappointment in the Braves itself. I'm
Oh, I'm
sorry.
utterly disappointed. So, guys, we get to the game and perfect weather. It was great weather, not hot, not too cold. It was that cool, like 70 degrees. Get there about 4 o'clock. And the game was supposed to kick off at 7. Well, 7 gets there, and it's Military Appreciation Day. Also, thank you to all military members and all the branches in the military. It, so they do the first pitch, they do all the stuff for the military, and then they decide, okay, well, we're going to have a delay because storms are coming in. Well, it doesn't rain for an hour, at most an hour and 10, 20 minutes, and then it rains. And it's just rain, no lightning. And then in about 30 more minutes, lightning. So me, Sam, and J Dub was with us, and we think to ourselves, okay, they could have played 5 innings with the pitch clock and the way the game's rolling. And I'm gonna tell you, the way the Braves are hitting right now, they might have got 7 innings in. So we wait and we wait and we wait, and about I want to say 8:30, maybe 9, they go, "Oh, the rain stops." I'm like, "Oh, we better get some ball. We better get some ball game." "Oh, by the way, the game's canceled." "Okay, well, game's canceled. I get that. It'll be the next day." "Oh, it's delayed till Monday night." What the hell? That never really ever happens.
Yeah,
So we
totally.
together just eat a ticket.
It made no sense whatsoever, excuse me. Because like you said, the game got delayed to Monday night, which would have been a travel night for the Padres. Usually the last game of a series, in most series, if it is not at night, it'll be at if it is not at night, it'll be at day. If they don't play the next day, then it might be at night. The away team, that is. But if the away team goes somewhere else the very next day, they have to play earlier in the day, usually a noon game, maybe early afternoon, 2 o'clock or something like that, which was the plan. It was a 1 o'clock game for the Braves Padres on Monday. It would have been game 4 of the
Yeah.
series. And
Which is
then
rare. You don't ever see a series. I mean, they're always Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and never Monday. You
yeah,
never see a Monday game.
yeah, Sunday is usually any games on Sundays usually is the final game of a series. Um, so it was just a little weird. But to your point, they cancel the game. They delay the game at man, it was probably right at about when the game was supposed to be, when the first pitch was supposed to go down. They did the flyover. They did all the military appreciation stuff, which was really neat to see. Um, but nobody's coming out. We start seeing tweets from Mark Bowman,
David
um,
O'Brien.
David O'Brien, and they're even like, what are the Braves doing? Like, this doesn't really seem to make sense. They could have at least played for a little bit. And it just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. And they kept us there for over an hour, probably an hour and a half or a little bit more, um, drinking beer, paying for overpriced food. They knew what they were doing. They
It
knew
truly,
what they were doing.
I felt like a old, I felt like an
You
old guy.
felt like an idiot, didn't you? Because I did.
It was one of those, like, when I y'all laughed at me, but it was one of those, like, "Hell, they got their money. They already made their money.
Well,
They
I
don't
mean,
care."
look,
But it's kinda true, though.
it was one of those things where we didn't want to admit it, but we knew it was gonna get canceled. We just were like, "We we we have too much hope in the Braves. They're not gonna cancel it. They're not gonna cancel it. Even if it starts at 10 p.m., they're
Being
not gonna
honest,
cancel it. It's not gonna be a waste."
I did not think they were gonna cancel it. I really didn't think it because I mean, we went through 3 things on Twitter saying, "We'll give another 30-minute, update, 30-minute update, 30-minute update." Like, what the hell?
And I don't wanna dwell on this because we do have a little bit to talk about, but the thing for me that was disappointing was the Braves understand that a huge percentage of their fan base
Travel.
isn't just in Atlanta. The Braves have the widest fan base in terms of area in all of the MLB, right? I mean, you got fans in Louisiana, you got fans in North
Mississippi.
Carolina, all the way down here in Florida
Past
who
the Major
travel
Leagues.
hours. They may travel, you know, some 8 hours to make 1 weekend, 1 day work, maybe a year, maybe every few years they're able to go to a Braves game. And for them to do that, I mean, I just know myself and so many other people, you and J Dub and so many other people in the crowd were in that situation. And what sucked was we couldn't sell the tickets for whatever reason. Ticketmaster, Game Time, StubHub, they were not letting me sell the tickets. So basically, just had to get on Reddit and give them away so they wouldn't be wasted.
Did someone
Um,
take them?
Someone snagged them up real quick. Yeah, within like 2 minutes. They're like, "Hey, I'll take those tickets if you still got them." I was like, "Here you go." So I just transferred them over. But yeah, utter disappointment. Maybe we'll make our way to another Braves game this year, but the last one that I went to also got rained out. So I don't know if I've got some bad luck or something. I really don't know. But we got a little bit to talk about. NBA conference championships are set.
Baby.
One game has been played. How are you feeling about this,
So
JR?
my preseason prediction was Nuggets versus Celtics. I love this Timberwolves team. Still shocked that they beat the Nuggets, but I will say though they match up well. I like Anthony Edwards. I love Carl Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert. You got the gritty veteran and Mike Conley. You got Jaden McDaniels off the bench. You got Nas Reed, the sixth man of the year from the University of LSU. I really like this team a lot, but I'm gonna tell you, Kyrie Irving is one of the most clutch players when it comes to in the NBA. He is 15-0 in closing games in NBA history or in his career. Ooh, excuse me. Ooh. You got Luka Doncic on that side. You got PJ Washington from the University of Kentucky. It's kind of crazy to see that you have two SEC boys, big centers, making big difference in the conference finals for the West. Then you got the East. You watched last night game. The Pacers kind of Reggie Miller choked against the Boston Celtics last night. Jason Tatum went off. You still have Jalen Brown. Give me. I, I know it predicted against them, but I'm gonna do it again. Give me Dallas versus Boston.
Dallas versus Boston. I
I
want to stick with my Celtics pick. I like the run that the Pacers have been on. Like you said, they kind of blew it a little bit.
love Tyrese Halliburton. He's a stud. I remember at Iowa State when Bama played him. He's just good.
Give me the Timberwolves and the Celtics just to change it up a little bit. Um, man, what June 6th is when the first game of the NBA Finals is supposed to start. Um, man, the NBA Finals are so the whole tournament is so long.
It
It
is.
is a long
I will
tournament, but
say
it's been entertaining.
it's been entertaining. I like to watch it. We just got our All NBA team. They just released it. Sham broke it. That's the first one I saw. So first team, you got Nikolai Jokic, who, of course, MVP of the year. Shea Gilgis Alexander from Oklahoma City. Luka Doncic, Giannis, and Jason Tatum. Okay, not a bad lineup. Second team, you got Jalen Brunson, who was awesome in the playoffs. It was a shame that he fractured his hand in the last game seven. You have Anthony Davis, the unibrow, Kevin Durant, Anthony Edwards, and Kawhi Leonard. And then third team, you had Devin Booker, Steph Curry, Therese Halliburton, LeBron James, and Demonis Sabonis. I'm gonna say this. I don't know who you would replace. I would probably either put Jalen Brown should have been on there or Tyrese Maxey. I probably would have bumped Devin Booker and maybe LeBron, but LeBron's also having a great. It's I don't know. It was just one of them cases you didn't have enough spots because you should have Halliburton. Halliburton almost could have been a second team most other years. If it wasn't for Draylon Brunson kind of going off, he would have been a second year team. But I mean, I think it's a good lineup. I mean, what do you think of the all team 2023?
Yeah, no, I agree. Look, the NBA is one of the. It's tough to make one of those
It's
all
that
NBA first team, second team, even third team because there's only 5 per team, so it can be really, really tough. But I mean, look, Giannis is going to do Giannis things. Luka Doncic is going to do Luka things. All those guys in the first team, I think, are well deserving. Um, so yeah, I totally agree. So you told me though. You told me. Let's go back real quick. Let's go back to the bracket real quick.
uh,
You chose Celtics Mavs,
yes,
correct?
yes.
Who do you have winning the whole thing?
Give me Celtics.
Celtics, yeah. I'll go with the Celtics as well.
Even though
I
I
agree.
kind of want Dallas to win, but I'm going to stick with my pick, Boston. I had Boston all. Did say Denver was going to go back to back, but I at least had Boston in the finals. But it's kind of crazy to think that we've been doing this for as long. We did the preseason pick, the NBA. Like it's crazy to think we've done it for that long.
Do you
Now,
want to talk about your boy?
who's my boy? I'm so lost.
No, Todd.
Willie, what Willie do? I'm so
We'll move
lost.
on. We'll move
I'm so
on.
lost.
We'll move on.
I did see, speaking of NBA, speaking about the NBA draft, I have seen a couple of mock drafts with Mark Sears being picked in the second round. I saw as early as the 33rd pick, the Milwaukee Bucks, which is basically it's, of course, the third pick in the second round, which would be awesome. But we found out on May 28th when 'cause that's when he has to decide does he leave his name in or does he take it back out. So we'll find out on May 28th. We do have unfortunately, some sad news about the NBA.
Before we get to the sad news, I want to make sure that you didn't understand what I was getting at.
I do not know.
Your boy Herb Jones.
Oh, yes. Herb Jones, first team all defensive player. I thought you was talking about. I was like, what did Willie do? I mean, I saw Willie got in trouble with the police about something.
I didn't say that. Speaking of the police, we may have to talk about
Something. I
the
got to see
Georgia
it.
Bulldog. What are the Georgia Bulldogs football team doing
I
in the
saw I, I
cars?
saw I saw a funny tweet. It was like, man, this EA Sports is so realistic. Look at him driving. It was like Grand Theft Auto. It was like Georgia edition, so realistic. It was like Grand Theft. I just loved it. But Herb Jones, first team All D. He's finally getting the love he deserves. But I'm gonna tell you, he needs to get some votes for. In my opinion, I truly think Herb Jones is the defensive player of the year. Like, yeah, I don't. If he does not win one in his career, that would be ridiculous. It'd be redonkulous.
Redonkulous. Yeah, he is an incredible defensive force. I mean, he was at Alabama. It's what a lot of us Alabama fans miss watching Alabama basketball, especially this past season. Um,
I don't think they realize the impact he's had on the program.
no,
Like Herb
100%.
Jones, like he's one of those like let's say this. I think we should retire his number over Brandon Miller any day.
Maybe a hot take because Brandon Miller could end up having a far more, I don't want to say successful NBA career, but definitely much more.
In college, that's what I'm saying. In college, his college career way better. Like he's done more for this program than anybody.
Um, all right, your sad news.
NBA is expected to finalize a deal this week with Disney, NBC, and Amazon. They want Warner Brothers will have a chance to counteroffer, but it's unlikely. They are in $40 billion in debt. Reportedly, they would need to pay more than $2.6 billion to match the bid. Next season will be the last for inside the NBA under its current deal. After that, Charles Barkley will be a free agent if Warner Brother loses the rights. Ernie Johnson will remain with Turner, and they are unsure about continuing without him. But yeah,
Yeah, that's look, I mean, when you watch the NBA, especially, primetime NBA, look,
NBA
those are the guys.
the
I
NBA
mean,
is preparing lawyers in case Warner Brother tries to sue them to keep the rights.
and news came out today that TNT has secured a deal with ESPN. I'm not really sure they will be showing some college football playoff games. Maybe that's them
Which I don't
trying to.
understand because Disney is owned by ESPN, or ESPN is
Yeah,
owned by
yeah.
Disney.
So they will be showing some college football playoff games. Maybe that's an attempt to supplement what they'll be losing. But that's a lot to lose. I mean, that is the NBA. Watching Shaq and Charles Barkley go at it. I mean,
I would almost put them up there with like the college game day, the NFL Sunday countdown, like with
oh,
they're up there with
absolutely.
those. I would almost, I mean, some weeks they're better than college game day crews. I
Sure.
really would say that.
I love them. I love them covering the tournament, the NCAA
Oh my
tournament.
god,
I
like
mean, what talking college basketball? I mean, they're fantastic. They're
you
they're
can't
great.
lose. I don't think people realize he's just a nice guy because I've seen documentaries. Ernie Johnson. Ernie
Mhm.
Johnson. Oh my god, like Ernie Johnson's such a legend to the game. It's and not even football, basketball, golf, baseball. Like his whole family are legends.
Yeah, it would be he'll be doing something.
He's gonna have to.
And somebody will pick him up. ESPN might. I don't know what his contract is like with Warner Brothers. But as soon as
If
it
I'm
ends,
if I'm ESPN, how much money are you throwing at Charles Barkley and
I mean,
Shaq?
look at how much they threw at Joe Buck to do one NFL game a week, and people hate Joe Buck. So I kind of like Joe Buck sometimes.
I don't think he's
Uh,
that.
I don't think he's that as bad as people think he is, but I mean, if you look at how much money they threw him, look
Him
at
and
how much money Fox threw Tom
him,
Brady's way. I
him and
mean,
Troy Aikman. I mean, they threw money to Tom Brady and Drew Brees, and they've never called a day in their life.
and
Drew Brees is terrible at calling a game. I kind of think they regret that, but I mean, we'll see how Tom Brady's does. But like to you saying, I definitely think they'll throw the.
they'll have to. So, all right, let's move on just a little bit. Big story here.
Do you
So
so you did some research on this? So
I've known about this story. I mean, since
I mean,
the whole thing went
you're
down a
local.
couple years ago
You're
or a year and a
local.
half ago.
You're local
Hell yeah.
to the game.
Hell yeah, I am.
You're
Well,
honorary.
the talk of the town right
I
now.
mean, you still got your Aaron Hernandez jersey in your closet.
I put it on when I go to bed. So,
So
um, all right. So I want to say it was 2022, 2022
it was like, well,
or 20.
I with Arizona State last year, so it would have been the offseason before that because
Yeah. So after the 2022 season, Florida, first year under Billy Napier, um, finishes up and it doesn't go so well. It goes about maybe as expected in a first year. Second year obviously doesn't go fantastic, but this was before that. So he's in the hunt for a quarterback, and he finds a one and only Jaden Rashada, who was, I want to say at the time, the top rated quarterback. If not, he was way up there. And Jaden Rashada, however, is the first quarterback in like this new quarterback NIL recruiting thing going on. So Jaden Rashada gets a good little offer. I don't well, not just little. Jaden Rashada gets a big old offer from the Florida Gator Collective
was
here
it
in
13
Gainesville.
million, 13 million, 25
$13.25 million
for a quarterback
over
that's never
4
played in
years.
college. Oh god.
Over 4 years, the kid had never played a single game in college. But they promised it to him, like, okay, yeah, we'll give you this money. And here comes Jaden Rashada. He commits to Florida. And then old Boosters start backtracking a little bit. 13. That's a little much. I don't
Yeah,
know about that much. But
like,
Billy Napier is like, it's okay. We'll get you the money. We'll get you the money. Then comes time. They're like, no, we can't get you this money. So Jaden Rashada's like, what the hell? What the hell? You say you were going to give me this money. I'm backing out. I'm decommitting. So he decommits from Florida, ends up going to Arizona State, plays for a little bit. He gets injured, plays like 4 games, had some okay stats.
transfer to Georgia, correct?
Now a transfer to Georgia, and now this is where things go down. If we look at this tweet from Andy Staples, Andy, I know you're watching. Andy Staples tweeted this. This is part of the lawsuit that Jaden Rashada is now filing against Billy Napier and Florida. So year one, monthly payments of $250,000 as a freshman in college.
Nice.
That's $3 million a year. And then when we get down to his junior year, which would be his last year before he would be able to go to the NFL, of course, $375,000 a month. There are doctors that don't make that in a year. That would
He's
be $4.5 million a year.
oh, uh, finish up because I
There,
got a question for you after this.
he would be making more money, would have been making more money than a lot of head coaches like Dana Holgerson, some of the lower
He was
level
making
group
more.
of Power
He was
5, Power 4
making more
coaches.
than Kane Womack at South Alabama.
He would have been making more money than Kalen DeBoer was making at Washington as a quarterback.
And he was just in the national championship for it as a
But
flag.
here's the issue is we can sit here and we can have this discussion of, oh my gosh, does a kid deserve that much money? And we can sit here and say, absolutely freaking not. By no means at all. However, it was promised to him. They said he was going to get that money. Well, how
So
stupid it was or not, they said he has a ground to stand on. Whether it'll hold up in court, I don't know. But a little bit of tea here. Did you see? Isn't a little suspicious, or not suspicious, but a little that a month after he transfers to Georgia, this
yeah,
comes out?
all this stuff. I kind of thought the
Apparently,
same thing.
apparently, old Jaden Rashada and his family informed the one and only Kirby Smart
What
that they were
happened?
planning on suing Billy Napier in Florida, and Coach Smart gave them his blessing. I'm just saying, it means more in the SEC.
Do you think Kirby kind of hooked him up with a lawyer?
Probably not. Probably not.
Do you think he don't like Billy? 'Cause if you got to remember, I thought Billy Napier and Kirby coached on the same staff.
They did, yeah, at Alabama. And I want to say 2015.
It was that 2015 team, the one that's
Um,
loaded with coaches.
yeah. So I don't know if there's some beef there or something, but or what, I don't know. I don't know what the career will look like for Jaden Rashada. I mean, he's not going to start at
I don't think he's
Georgia this
good.
year. I mean, Carson Beck is there. Maybe he'll have more time to develop. Who really knows? I don't know what kind of NIL stuff he's getting right now. I just think that this was a horrible, horrible decision by Billy Napier and Florida and their collective to even offer the kid that kind of money in the first place. What are you doing? He's a
Because
kid.
if Tim Tebow was playing in today's times, would Tim Tebow well, okay, let me ask you, would you give Tim Tebow that kind of money?
Um, yes, I would.
What about Caleb Williams? That's okay.
No.
Caleb Williams, the Heisman Trophy winner from the year before, the year that he was promised that money, I wouldn't even give him that.
I would not get I would maybe give Tim Tebow that, only because Tim Tebow was a different breed,
Would
right?
Ellis would you
Tim Tebow was him. Tim Tebow was a national celebrity,
I
not
can
just in football.
I mean, besides Tim Tebow, what other Heisman winners could you say, "Okay, I can give that kind of money to"?
I
Maybe Joe
mean,
Burrow, maybe Joe
maybe Joe Burrow. and that's probably it. Because you have to look at it more from just like, how good is he,
But Tim,
right? Like,
I I would almost look at that's kind of like Florida giving it to Cam Newton when Cam Newton was a freshman. That's how I look at it. Is like when he was a backup, but behind a quarterback. Like you're going to give this to a
you
freshman?
it's you got to think about who brings in the money, not just who's good. Who's bringing in the money? Johnny Manziel, he would have deserved that kind of money just of how much money Texas A&M made off of him. Tim Tebow, Cam Newton at Auburn for sure,
I
Joe
think
Burrow.
I think a solution that what needs to happen is you need to make these players and the coaches as well because you hear a lot about kind of like Caden Proctor. He got all that NIL money from Iowa and then he left. Well, look what he's done. This dude committed to Florida, said he's gonna get this money, and now he didn't. They didn't uphold their end of the deal. They need to sign contracts like professional. If this is turning into NFL, sign a contract to that coach, a 1 year contract, to where I'm owed this amount of money, and I will guarantee to play for you, and they should do that.
Absolutely. That's been my argument from day one. I mean, you want to sit here and do this pay for play stuff? Okay, sign here. Sign your name. We're
Do
not going
1
to
year.
hide behind
I'm
these
not asking you.
collectives.
I'm not asking you to commit for 40. No,
Yeah,
sign 1
one
year.
year, 1 year.
You get 1 year every year. Because if not, if you want to go transfer. But I'm gonna get work out of that 5 million. I'm gonna get you.
And it's protection for the school and for the player. It guarantees the player that he's going to
Now
get his.
we haven't really seen the player getting kind of screwed. Now we're seeing the player get screwed in all
Mm-hmm.
this.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what kind of ramifications this will have for college football as a whole. It'll definitely change things, I think. I really would like to see, I'm going to keep up on it and see, how this might affect Billy Napier in Florida and their continued recruiting and how they do their NIL stuff. I really don't know. But let's move on a little bit. All right, John Rivers, are the Braves cooked? We talked about them for a little bit earlier
We're
in our
terrible.
deployment, but
I like talking about them in our episodes. We're terrible. We're terrible. We're 6 games behind in first place. I unless we get Zach Eflin as our starting pitcher, I don't care. I just need somebody. We don't have a fifth starter. We went into the offseason with this problem. What's the problem? Oh yeah, we don't have another. We don't have a
it,
fifth starter.
it's going to be the same thing as it's been the past.
We've had.
Gosh,
I feel like
four.
that's been the last four off seasons. Is we need a fifth starter. We need a fifth starter. How do
And
we
and
address
and
it?
AA goes out and gets some junk baller like a Jake Odorizzi or a Yanni Chirinos
It's
or,
that's the
or a
question.
Drew Smiley.
That's the question in the damn off season every year. Who's gonna be our fifth starter? Who's gonna be? Oh, we'll just stick with our farm league. They'll figure it out.
I mean, look, and you can't blame. Look, this year we had it. We had our fifth starter. If Spencer Strider was pitching right now, I have no doubts we would have one of the best starting rotations in baseball because Chris Sale is pitching amazing. Reynaldo Lopez is pitching amazing. Max Fried is getting it together.
Uh,
Bryce Elder and
Bryce
Charlie Morton is
Elder.
Charlie Morton.
Elder is Osama Elder because he's terrible. Bryce Elder is terrible. I'm throwing my damn.
It's making you angry.
I don't know how that happened. Now,
It's making me
Bryce
want
Elder
to take my headphones off.
terrible, terrible. He should never pitch again for the Braves. If we pull him up, we're just waving the white flag. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but yeah, again, we're 6 games behind the Phillies, and look, the Phillies ain't slowing down.
35-14 last time I saw.
They are not slowing down, and we've talked about it. They have benefited from a weak schedule. They have played. I want to say they've only played a few games against teams over 500. But I mean, we can't help that. You got to go out and win ball games,
I mean,
and the
we can't say,
offense
we
is
can't
just
say
as
nothing from benefiting from a weak schedule. We played a 25-26 San Diego Padres and basically got swept.
yeah
Lost a 4 game series. Lost
at
three,
home.
yeah, at home on a weekend. Boy, it's supposed to be hard to win at home on the weekend. I mean, let me just. I mean, I'm gonna look at our last few series. Lost to the Padres. Lost to the Cubs. Don't even get me started. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know.
Matt Olson currently sitting with a 223 batting average.
No one's hitting
Uh,
for power. I mean, like last year.
Nobody. That was I don't know if there's been something changed with Kevin Seitzer or what, but we are not hitting the home runs that we have hit in 2022, 2022, 3, even 2021. I don't know what. if there's been a change or something uh, with the approaches.
Snit
I
looks
don't know.
there. It looks like he's trying to retire.
Are we getting to that point? I mean, this is the last year of his contract. I I would not be shocked if we have a disappointing year.
If we don't do nothing in the playoffs, if we
If
get
he
knocked,
just
especially if we're a wild card team and we get knocked off in the wild card round, oh yeah,
yeah.
he's. I say that. Look at the Nationals; they've had Dave Martinez as their coach for the last. I heard there's a good coach, a third base coach for the Orioles. Uh, Freddie Gonzalez, he'd be a good coach.
Would.
God.
Golly.
Would the Braves bring? Hear me out. Hear me out. He's a little bit old, but let's bring back Bobby Cox. I don't think he
I know he
speaks.
watches every game.
I don't know if he can walk right now, but let's bring Bobby. Hear me out. Let's do the White Sox metric. Let's get
Ozzie again.
they had Tony La Russa. They went with the old coach. The Angels are doing it. How about we get Lou Pinella or Jim Leyland? Let's get Jim Leyland.
Didn't Jim Leland die?
I don't.
I want to say he might have died.
I don't
Like,
think. Let me look.
or I could just be totally wrong.
You're thinking
Okay,
of
Jim Leland is not dead. I don't know where I got
dead.
that.
I was like, I don't think he's dead. I, hear me out. We get Ted Lasso.
All right, realistic. Would would the Braves potentially go after Snitker's son
If we
on
do
the
that, we're just
Astros?
that's stupid. I'm that's a way. Brian's still coaching them. Brian is still coaching. He's just this guy. I mean, if we replace Snit, this is who I want.
Kevin Cash. I'm serious. I would be totally okay with that.
I would love Stephen Vogue. Uh, give me, and he's with the Braves right now. Travis Darno.
Really? I
Kind of,
look. A lot of people say that he would be a great manager. I don't
kind
know
of,
if I would give him that. I would see
kind
how he does in the minors
of like
first.
how David Ross did with the Cubs.
Maybe I could see it. Maybe.
I wouldn't be fine with David Ross too. Now I don't think he did that bad of a job at Chicago. I don't think that Craig Counsell is that much better than David Ross.
I think we just go after Ollie Marmol. Take him off the Cardinals' hands.
I think we get Doc Rivers from the Milwaukee Bucks.
Get Nick Saban while
I
we're at it.
heard that John Calipari wants to do it.
I heard Saban's wanting to try new ventures.
I'm about to say I heard Bill Belichick is available.
All right, guys. All right. Do we have a question of the day?
Yes, let me look at my thing.
It's always about food.
It is.
We may need to change it up next episode.
I
Do some
can't think of nothing.
favorite roller coaster or something.
What hey man, so like what color crayon do you like to eat?
So I got a story about that.
Oh god.
So I dated a girl once from Chicago. This is a true story. I dated a girl from
Yeah.
Chicago, and when I was a freshman in college, she had a bit of that Midwestern accent,
Hello.
and she was telling me a story about when she played soccer, like in
Soccer?
middle school or something, soccer. Um, and she was saying something about how she her and her friends made a concoction drink for her coach or something like that. I don't know. And she said, "Oh yeah, we put dirt and
Soccer?
grass and crayons in it." I was like, "Crayons?"
Man,
I was like, "What's wrong with that?" I was
that's
like crayon. She was like, "Crayons."
crayon.
I don't know what are you talking about?
Tails a crayon.
I was like, "I eat crayons. I eat those. Like, I guess I eat those." He's like, "You eat crayons?" I was like, "I mean, I drink them every night. I drink cranberry juice." He's like, not cranberries, crayons." I'm like, "What are you talking about, crayons?" Crayon. She's like, "It's crayon." I'm like, "No, it's a crayon." So there's a little story. But what's your question of the day? What
What
we
is
eating today?
what is your
What
guilty
we eating?
what is your guilty pleasure food wise?
Um,
Mine is pretzels.
pretzels. Like you mean like a soft pretzel? Like you get like actual
No,
pretzel, or like a
like
from the bag?
from the bag.
I'm not a big pretzel guy like that. I love like an actual pretzel, like at a ballpark or something, but I'm not a huge. salted. Like, you know, what's that big rolled gold or whatever?
I know. I know. You get it. I got that down at the Winn-Dixie frozen food aisle. I put some salt on it. Oh, that ain't enough. Hell, I
Eh,
wanna feel my arm go numb. I wanna feel
my guilty pleasure, I don't know, but probably I don't feel guilty eating any food.
Okay, I got a
I
question for
just
you.
eat.
That's not
Shit.
food related.
Probably brownies,
You're stuck on an island.
cookies,
Give me one person that you wanna be stuck with, and you cannot say your fiancé.
you.
All my Heads Up Play fans.
Yeah, I'm gonna go shout out to Morgan and Taryn.
Yes. All that, yes, Cade, all of them Heads
Yes,
Up Play
Cade.
fans. Yes, we appreciate all the love and support. I
All
mean,
right, guys.
y'all give it more than our significant others to be.
That's right.
Shout out to them for loving us.
All right, everybody. Episode 39 done. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter/X, whatever you want to call it. Be sure to like and subscribe to this channel right here and comment. What is your guilty pleasure food? Who are you taking on an island? What do you think about the Jaden Rashada stuff? Who do you think is going to win the NBA conference championships and go to the championship and win the finals?
The finals.
Let us know all down below. Do you think I'm ugly? No. You think I'm a
No,
10 out of 10?
hey, Heads Up Play. You stay classy.